Have you ever felt like the stock market is a giant puzzle that everyone else seems to understand except you? You watch charts move, prices spike, news explode, and somehow it all feels overwhelming, confusing, and unpredictable. But what if you had a powerful research assistant that could help you analyze stocks, understand trends, and even break down complex market news in seconds? Today, I'm going to show you how you can use ChatGPT as a trading research tool, not to magically predict the market, but to make smarter, faster, and more confident decisions. Whether you're a beginner trying to understand the basics or an experienced trader looking to refine your strategy, this approach can completely change the way you research trades. First, let's get one thing very clear. ChatGPT is not a crystal ball. It does not know tomorrow's stock prices, and it should never replace your own judgment. Instead, think of it as a research partner, one that works 24/7, never gets tired, and can process massive amounts of information in seconds. The real power of ChatGPT comes from how you ask questions. If you ask vague questions, you'll get vague answers. But if you ask smart, structured prompts, you can uncover insights that would normally take hours of manual research. Imagine you are interested in a specific stock, for example, a large technology company. Instead of searching dozens of websites, you can ask ChatGPT to summarize the company's business model, main revenue streams, competitors, and risks. In seconds, you get a clean overview. From there, you can go deeper by asking for a SWOT-style analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, so you understand not just what the company does, but where it stands in the market. This helps you quickly filter out weak ideas and focus only on stocks that deserve more attention. Next, you can use ChatGPT to analyze news and earnings reports in simple language. Many traders lose money because they don't truly understand what a company's financial report is saying. You can paste an earnings summary or a news headline into ChatGPT and ask it to explain the impact in plain English. For example, you can ask, "What does this earnings report mean for investors in the short term and long term?" This turns complex financial language into clear, actionable insight that helps you understand market sentiment. Another powerful use is for building trading scenarios. You can ask ChatGPT to generate bullish and bearish cases for a stock. This forces you to think from both sides instead of becoming emotionally attached to one idea. When you clearly see what could go right and what could go wrong, you become a more disciplined trader. You stop chasing hype and start thinking in probabilities. You can also use ChatGPT to learn technical analysis faster. If you see a chart pattern or indicator you don't understand, you can ask ChatGPT to explain it step by step. You can even describe your chart setup and ask what that pattern usually signals. This doesn't replace real chart practice, but it helps you learn the language of trading much faster and with more confidence. Most importantly, ChatGPT helps you create a research routine. Instead of randomly jumping from one stock to another, you can follow a structured process: company overview, news impact, technical explanation, and scenario planning. This keeps your emotions in check and your decisions based on logic, not fear or excitement. By the end of this video, you'll realize that successful trading is not about finding a secret indicator. It's about having better information, faster understanding, and clearer thinking. And when you learn how to use ChatGPT correctly, it becomes one of the most powerful research tools you can have at your side. Now that you understand how ChatGPT can act as your research partner, let's talk about how to use it to generate actual trade ideas without blindly copying anything. The goal here is not to ask, "What stock should I buy today?" but to ask questions that help you discover opportunities on your own. You can start by asking ChatGPT to list stocks in a specific sector that is currently gaining attention, such as artificial intelligence, clean energy, or healthcare innovation. From that list, you can choose one or two names and begin your deeper research process instead of chasing whatever's trending on social media. Once you have a potential stock in mind, you can use ChatGPT to help you understand the bigger picture. Ask it about the industry's future, the company's role within that industry, and what macroeconomic factors could affect its performance. This gives you context, which most traders completely ignore. Markets don't just move because of charts, they move because of money flow, interest rates, global events, and investor expectations. When you understand the story behind a stock, you trade with clarity instead of confusion. Next, you can use ChatGPT to turn raw data into a simple thesis. A thesis is just a clear reason why you believe a trade might work. For example, you can ask, "Help me write a bullish and bearish thesis for this stock based on current market conditions." This forces you to define your logic before risking any money. If you can't explain why you are entering a trade, you shouldn't be in it. This step alone can save you from countless emotional mistakes. You can also use ChatGPT to design a basic trading plan. Ask it to help you outline entry conditions, risk management rules, and exit strategies based on common trading principles. While it can't see live charts, it can still help you think in terms of risk to reward, stop-loss placement logic, and profit targets. This transforms you from a gambler into a strategist because every trade now has a reason, a plan, and a risk limit. Another smart use is journaling in review. After each trade, you can describe what you did, what you felt, and what happened, then ask ChatGPT to summarize your mistakes and strengths. Over time, patterns will appear. Maybe you rush into trades, maybe you exit too early, or maybe you overtrade when the market is slow. Self-awareness is one of the most powerful edges in trading, and ChatGPT can help you develop it faster. Finally, remember this: tools don't make money, discipline does. ChatGPT won't turn you into a millionaire overnight, but it will help you become a better thinker, a better researcher, and a more consistent trader. When you combine this with patience, risk control, and continuous learning, you build something far more valuable than a quick win. You build a long-term trading mindset. As you continue using ChatGPT in your trading research, the biggest shift you will notice is how much faster your thinking becomes. What used to take hours of reading, scrolling, and confusion can now be done in minutes with focused, intelligent questions. This gives you more time to do what truly matters: analyzing, waiting, and executing only the best opportunities. Speed is not about rushing into trades. It is about reaching clarity faster so you can avoid bad decisions and act only when the setup truly makes sense. One of the most powerful ways to use ChatGPT is for mindset training. Most traders fail not because they lack knowledge, but because they cannot control their emotions. Fear makes you exit too early. Greed makes you hold too long. Overconfidence makes you ignore your rules. You can ask ChatGPT to simulate different market situations and challenge your thinking. For example, you can ask, "What emotional mistakes do traders usually make after 3 losing trades in a row?" This kind of reflection helps you recognize your own patterns before they cost you real money. You can also use ChatGPT to prepare for different market conditions. Markets move in cycles. Sometimes they trend strongly, sometimes they move sideways, and sometimes they crash. You can ask ChatGPT to explain how strategies change in each phase. This helps you avoid forcing trades when the market is not giving opportunities. When you understand the environment, you stop blaming yourself for every loss and start aligning with what the market is actually offering. Another advanced use is for backtesting ideas conceptually. While ChatGPT can't pull real-time data, you can describe a strategy and ask it to explain when that type of strategy historically performs well or poorly. This builds realistic expectations and prevents you from falling for perfect systems that look good only in theory. The more realistic your expectations, the more patient and consistent you become. At the end of the day, trading is a game of probabilities, not certainty. ChatGPT helps you organize information, challenge your assumptions, and see the market from multiple angles. It doesn't remove risk, but it helps you manage it with intelligence instead of emotion. And when you combine smart research with discipline and patience, you stop chasing the market and start letting the market come to you.
At this stage, you are no longer just using ChatGPT as a tool. You are using it as a thinking framework. The biggest difference between amateur traders and professional traders is not the size of their accounts, but the quality of their decision-making. Professionals do not guess, they prepare. And preparation comes from asking better questions, testing your ideas mentally, and building clear rules before the market opens. With ChatGPT, you can rehearse your thinking before you ever place a trade, which removes impulsive behavior and replaces it with structure. You can start each trading day by using ChatGPT to clarify your focus. Instead of randomly scanning charts, you can ask it to help you define your goals for the session. For example, you might ask yourself what type of market you are in, what sectors are active, and what kind of setups you are waiting for. This mental checklist creates discipline. When your conditions are not met, you do nothing, and doing nothing is often the most profitable decision a trader can make. Another powerful habit is using ChatGPT for post-market reflection. After the market closes, you can describe your trades and ask it to help you identify what you did right and what you need to improve. This turns every win and every loss into a lesson. Over time, your mistakes will decrease, your confidence will grow, and your results will become more consistent. Growth in trading does not come from one big win, it comes from thousands of small improvements. As you build this routine, you will realize that your edge is not secret information or a perfect indicator. Your edge is your ability to stay calm, follow your plan, and think clearly when others are emotional. ChatGPT supports that process by giving you clarity, structure, and perspective whenever you need it. In the end, trading is not about predicting the market, it is about preparing for it. When you use ChatGPT correctly, you stop reacting to price and start responding with logic. And that mindset is what separates traders who survive from traders who truly succeed. By now, you should see that the real value of ChatGPT is not in telling you what to trade, but in teaching you how to think like a trader. It becomes a mental gym where you strengthen your discipline, patience, and decision-making skills. Every time you use it to question your assumptions, analyze risks, or plan scenarios, you are training your mind to stay focused under pressure. Over time, this mental strength becomes your greatest asset in the market. As your confidence grows, you will notice something important. You no longer feel the need to chase every move. You wait, you observe, you let your rules guide you. This is where consistency is born. Most people fail in trading because they want fast results, but real success comes from repeating simple, logical actions over and over again. ChatGPT helps you stay on that path by keeping your process clear and your emotions in check. Eventually, you will reach a point where you trust your system more than your impulses. Losses will no longer shake you, and wins will not make you reckless. You will see both as part of the same journey. And instead of reacting to the market, you will respond with calm, prepared decisions. That is the true power of using ChatGPT for trading research. It is not about shortcuts, it is about clarity, it is about discipline, and most of all, it's about building a mindset that can survive and thrive in any market condition. Now, everything comes down to one simple truth. Your results will always reflect your habits. Tools, strategies, and information only work when they are used with consistency and intention. When you make ChatGPT part of your daily research routine, you are choosing to become a prepared trader instead of a reactive one. You are choosing to think before you act, to plan before you risk, and to learn from every outcome. The market will always be uncertain. There will always be losses, sudden news, and unexpected moves. But when you rely on a structured research process, you no longer fear uncertainty, you manage it. You understand that every trade is just one of many, and your job is not to be right every time, but to follow your process every time. That shift alone changes everything. In the long run, success in trading is not about being smarter than everyone else. It's about being more disciplined, more patient, and more self-aware. ChatGPT supports that growth by helping you reflect, refine, and stay focused on what truly matters. And when you commit to this mindset, you stop searching for the next big secret and start building a skill that can last a lifetime.